Hey guys, it's Cam with Hope to Canine Foundation. Got a few of us in today working dogs. This is Blueberry. Posted a picture of him with some of the reasons that he came in for one of our immersion programs, our board and train program. He is an older gentleman coming in around 8 years old or so. So we're not working at that puppy shaping level. We're having to do more behavior mod type stuff, getting him to calm down, focus better, walk more politely, not be pushy, jumpy, inappropriate. He really came out of the car like a wild man when we first met him at eval. And then he's got lots of question marks around his dog-to-dog behavior. There is a possibility that he is not safe socializing with other dogs, only because of some of the signs and symptoms that we've seen so far. But there's also a lot of unknowns because he just hasn't been allowed to. He also hasn't had a lot of, he hasn't had bad experiences because there's been a management approach to this lifestyle and dynamic with him that's kept him from that. But we're not sure. So what's important here and what I'm sharing with you guys today is e-collar conditioning. So Kai's got a remote and you're going to hear on the little sound box the e-collar application. So when you hear the beep in just a moment, it'll be when she is applying the e-collar tap or press and hold. Now, this guy's only been in here a few days. He basically had all the foundation work to lead up to this point. So if you are a DIY owner, we're wanting to show you what it looks like when we bring e-collar into the mix. Hi, buddy. We always make sure the dog is clear and comfortable with the concepts of place, recalling, coming, walking nicely on the leash, and I would say basically sitting down. So we always make sure those things are patterned and clear to the dog, which typically we do for a few days. Then we bring the e-collar in. Now, because he had so much done on his on this obedience foundation at home, bringing the prong collar into the mix to calm things down even further, to be able to be even softer with our leash handling, that just showed a guy that knows his stuff absolutely brilliantly, and we're being able to move a little bit faster towards this conditioning stage. That being said, we're working at level 8. So let me just get that to focus. You can see a mini educator. So level 8 is a perception level for this dog. It's where he feels it, but he's not bothered by it. Most of the dogs you're going to find a perception level about, 10 or less. It's very rare that you need to start above that. If you feel it on yourself as a person, it's going to feel like barely any sort of hint of a tickle usually. Sometimes you can't even feel it. So these guys are very perceptive. It's a sensation they don't feel often versus humans. We're used to electronics and sensations like that. We drive a car every day. We turn on the coffee maker. We have a cell phone that vibrates in our pocket. We have much more familiarity with that, where the dog is more sensitive because it's not a part of their normal world. So find the working level. We have a video for that on YouTube if you ever want help with how to do that. And then you start applying that perception level, that working perception level that she has, with leash direction and voice commands. And you start doing the same exact stuff you would do without the e-collar previously, but now you're adding the e-collar in. The long game goal is that you're going to get rid of the leash, and the dog's going to be connected to you by remote and be able to be given information on what they need to be doing, where they need to be going, what is and isn't acceptable. You can use the e-collar for so many things, both encouraging the dog, motivating a fearful dog, creating clarity of positioning and drive, and also to eliminate behavior you don't want. There's a huge spectrum here of benefits. So I'm just going to video for about a minute and a half or two more and show you a few repetitions for those doing this at home, so you can have a clear idea, because he's actually being a really good example of a guy that's happy. He gets it. He's got a good foundation. And this is a really important stage for us to build clarity of remote collar, to make it a positive thing for him that he understands. Then we're going to be able to up the ante when we're working with dog stuff and have a better communication tool that connects us to giving him feedback if he makes bad decisions socially. All right, Kai, go ahead. So she gives him the command, like place, for example. The button is the sound you hear. The leash is the physical direction. And then her body, always, always our body is our first and best tool. So watch how that gets moved to block and shape the position. Command, e-collar, leash. Body moves to magnet the dog. And what I mean by that is draw him into you. And then she gives a little bit of leash guidance. That's what the foot press is, to step down on the leash if needed. And starting to prompt on that recall really nicely. It's like, whoa, it's a lot of information. So right now we don't care too much. You're so goofy. We don't care too much about when he's perched up. A lot of times this guy will go into a down, but with excitement. And long term, that's something that we want shifted. He's a little bit shifted right now. Previously, he was really upright in his posture in the back end. Long term, we're going to want him to always shift that hip on place. It's going to show more commitment and relaxation. That's going to be true for you guys at home as well. So watch out for that, okay? She's going to add that e-collar to everything. Let's go, heel, place command. So the e-collar prompt says, this is me talking to you. This backs up my voice. This replaces my leash. It's super gentle, not overwhelming at all. And then she's pushing essentially with her body when she stands in front of him. That's pressure. As she moves away, it invites him to come. Good. This is the beauty of a dog that knows their basics. So he understands what down is. He's already been taught come. He's already been taught, you know, heel. He knows these commands, but the problem is they've been optional. They've been negotiable. They've been things that have been a struggle to reinforce for the owner when the stakes are high. So if there's a lot of excitement, arousal, another dog in the environment, she can't control, right? She can't keep the focus. She can't keep the calmness. Bringing this remote collar training in is going to really improve those issues. He's teaching the dog that he escapes or turns off that sensation. Good. And then there's that hip that's starting to shift a little bit better. It's subtle right here, but he's smooshed over to that side. So watch out for that, guys. If you're conditioning e-collar, make sure that you start asking for the down to mean hip over. That's going to be an important follow-up communication. And if he goes into the down and doesn't shift, she can actually apply the e-collar until he does. He's tired now. Good job, buddy. Why don't we go see if we can show that real quick?
Let's go.
I'll show you, because the rug is harder, guys. This is also why we use every surface possible. The dog's less likely to relax the hip over here.
No, down.
So you see, whoop, he did it. Good job, buddy. You're just so smart. You're just so very smart. Yeah. That's what you're looking for, though. And, you know, this is just a good example. Day one of e-collar conditioning. Your dogs can do more than you generally hold them to. You really need to have a higher bar more often than not. It's probably one of the biggest issues we find when we work with clients one-on-one. If they've already DIY'd it and brought some great tools in the mix, I think 9.5 times out of 10, the biggest thing that we find that we're counseling on is they're just not being firm enough in their expectations. They're not raising the bar. They're letting their dog kind of phone it in and not challenging them enough. So even on this firm surface, he's learned in one session, I just need to scooch my booty over and chill out. It's an implied stay, as you can see. What even? Oh, that's a squirrel. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to show you a little bit of that conditioning. Good job, buddy. Now I gotta get back on the phone.